welcome back to my channel. I am popping up here very spare of the moment. Many of my videos are spare of the moment. So basically, I just kind of got ready for the day, saw off my husband, I played with Avery, and once we hit 10 o'clock, I try to give him 30 minutes or so of independent play. So he's actually doing okay right now. So I wanted to run up here really quick and start filming a video that's been on my mind. So let's see, where do I begin? We just had Mother's Day this past weekend, and it was quite the day. So Mother's Day was on Sunday, today's Wednesday, just to give you an idea of where we're at as far as when I'm filming this video. And Mother's Day was, pretty great, very relaxed. Chris had to work until about 3 o'clock. So it was just me and Avery. And my mom had dropped off some stuff, and she had mentioned, make sure you let the dog out after I leave. I always make sure Luna's in whenever someone is gonna drop stuff off, because I leave that back door open. So it's just as like a safety precaution, like she needs to be in, because if somebody is coming into the garage and she's out, she would have access to jump on them and potentially sneak right out that door. And I live on a highway, so if someone's not expecting her, she could very easily slip out. So whenever someone is stopping or dropping anything, I always make sure the dog is in. So, when she left, she reminded me, make sure you let the dog out. So I let the dog out, and I was, put Avery in his high chair. I was getting him his snack and his lunch, and in the kitchen, just preparing food. And I have a window right there. So I looked out the window, and I saw something that did not belong, and it shocked me. I was like, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I immediately was like, that's a mountain lion. That I know nothing about anything wildlife related or, native cats or anything, but I just saw it and I was like, that's a mountain lion, that's a mountain lion. And I was freaking out. And I didn't have my phone right there because I tend to leave my phone kind of like all over the house because I wear my iWatch. And so I was like, oh my, I where's my phone? So I'm like running around the house trying to find my phone. By the time I, get back to the window and stuff, it's like kind of like moved into the brush, and I'm trying to take pictures. Mind you, I'm taking pictures from inside my house and like all the way, like through a window, like past my fence, like the backfield, so very far away. And I'm like texting my mom, I texted my friend Anna, I texted my husband. I'm like, there's a mountain lion here. And my mom's like, get the dog. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, Luna is out. Like, that's the whole reason I saw it, was because I was checking on her. Like, I'm always looking out the window when she's out there. So, the first time I go out, like, she won't come in. And I'm like, oh geez, like, what do I do? The mountain lion, and I'm gonna call it mountain lion because I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I'll call it the big cat. We'll say big cat. So this big cat like had taken notice of her, I'm pretty sure. So she was just like laying out there, like couldn't care less, And I have a big Siberian Husky. So she's like, she looks very intimidating. She's the most friendly dog in the world, but like to look at her, she's very intimidating looking, very wolf-like. She's not a small dog. And so she's laying out there, could care less. She won't come in. So I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, I have to get her in. So I go back out there, and I'm like nervous. I'm like peeking around. Like, I'm not wanting to go outside in case it sees me. And I'm yelling, Luna, come in, girl. I was like, there's a mountain lion out here. And, so I'm yelling, and I'm like trying to bribe her to get in. I'm like, come on, cookies, cookies. So I bribe her in. And all this yelling, it does not scare that cat off. And, during this time, it was sitting in like the tree line and just staring into my yard. And then So then I, get the dog and I go right back to the window, and it has actually come back out into the open field. And so it did the opposite, like yelling at it. You'd think maybe it would like leave. Oh no, comes back out, and just kind of hanging around and continually staring into my yard, not the neighbor's, my yard. So I know it's because it saw Luna and it was interested in her in some way. My heart was racing. My mom is freaking out. She's telling me, have Chris call this, have Chris call this. And Chris had originally responded like, OMG, that's cray. But then he just like went MIA for an hour. Love you, babe, but I text you there's a mountain lion outside and you disappear. Yeah, so, he's not answering. So then I call the local police station, like that's local in my town. I call NCON. And so the police that answered, he was kind of like nice, like, oh geez, like, and he gives me, like, refers me to like other phone numbers. He tells me to start with NCON. So I call NCON, and she doesn't really seem surprised. She's just like, yeah, you guys have a cat population. Seeing a mountain lion is extremely rare. She goes, I've seen 2 in my entire career. So, just because you saw this doesn't mean it's its first time there. It just means it's your first time seeing it. And I was like, well, I live on a highway, and so it was a little, concerning that something like this is so close to that, like population and everything. And also I was like, it took interest in my dog. I have a dog, I have a baby. Like, should I be concerned? Like, should we be staying inside? And she's like, no, I don't, they're not known to attack, dogs or anything like that. They go after like small game, like rabbits and stuff like that. So it should be fine. And she tells me to call the DEC in the morning after 8:30. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know, like, she's trying to make me feel like I shouldn't be worried about like a dog and a baby. And I'm worried. In my mind, it seems like it's hungry, and like that's why it's coming so close and not leaving. Now, mind you, it had hung around and I had been watching it for about 35 minutes. And then I was all nervous because I had to like call the police department and everything. And in the kitchen, I had Avery in the high chair. I had cartoons on. So I needed to like focus. So I had to I went to the office so that I could just like focus and call, because I was nervous to call the police. And so then, I called the police, and then I called NCON. So I had lost track of the cat at this point. It could have still been around somewhere, especially if it's in the tree line. Like, I wouldn't really have been able to see it unless I saw it go to that place. So whether or not it had left by then, I'm not sure. I had gotten done with all my phone calls an hour in. I had gone into the office to start making the phone calls after 35 minutes of like watching it. And then thinking of everything afterwards, like certain things came to mind, like I let the dog out and that's when this emerged. And then it kind of hung around and it didn't seem intimidated by me or yelling. And it kept staring into the yard. So my mind goes to it's hungry, and that it's getting a little bit more desperately hungry to come out like that of like the woods and come this close to the house and a highway. We're a stone's throw away from the bike trail. Like, I had walked through this field to get to the bike trail, and because it's right there. And it's a little bit scary. I had also called the neighbor while I was making these phone calls to let them know, because they have an outside cat, Bonnie, and I wanted to make sure they were aware of this. They were, being careful, potentially find their cat, she's outside, get her inside. So I am going to insert some photos and some videos. And I want you guys to be aware that I was taking these pretty far away from inside my house through a kitchen window. And It's not small. It was large and it was scary. It startled me. And I was worried for my large dog, my large wolf-like dog. And I'm fully aware of what a cat is. I have two. My neighbor has an outside cat. I see her all the time. Taking pictures and videos from this distance, if it was a cat, like a normal, like pet cat, it would be like a blip, because I know the size reference of that because I see Bonnie outside all the time. And like I said, I have cats. So I'm going to attach those videos, pictures, so you can, you know, see those going on and you can form your own opinion of what you think I saw. And basically, I had emailed the DEC because they weren't open that day. And I felt like sending a video would go further than just saying I saw something that they say is extinct in New York. So I follow up and call the DEC on Monday. I leave a message, and then, you know, we played a little phone tag. She called me back, left me a message, then I got her on the third call. And I sent it again, emailed it again, but this time directly to her, the woman that I spoke to from the DEC. And her response back was shocking. And I can't really read it right now because my phone is what's filming this, and it's on my phone. So what I'm going to do is I am going to probably insert a voiceover and maybe like a little, I might type it up. I don't think I'm going to screenshot the actual email just to keep stuff like anonymous, but I might type up what the email said, like in like an image, and do a voiceover. So potentially a voiceover spot here.
Carolyn, this is actually a house cat. Yes, he or she is pretty muscular and tall, but still just a domestic house cat. I didn't notice any collar, so I assume it may be feral or just an outside pet. One of your neighbors might know who he or she belongs to. If you have any other questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me.
Off like that, because in my mind someone can get hurt, and like I have a dog and I have a baby, and that's concerning to me because she's essentially making me like take my guard down, which I'm not going to do because it was scary and it was alarming and my heart was racing. And if it made me feel that way, then I'm going to trust that and take it seriously. And anytime I let my dog out, like I'm watching and I'm being cautious because I've seen this, it took interest in her, and I have to be aware of that because it's large, it's muscular, and it's scary. And I think a lot of the internet agrees with me. I shared this for all of like the local people online so that they would be, anyone who lived near me would be aware of this. And I've been updating it a little bit, like with the DEC response, and then I did receive a little bit of some nasty comments on there. So I also like did a little disclaimer about how like I don't, you know, want any bullying or anything going on like that. Like, you know, I'm a mom, like my page is very PG, like I don't want any, you know, vulgar language or anything like that on my page. And so basically it's gotten, I think we're at about like 3,700 or 3,800 views right now. There's been like over 200 local you know, shares, and so a lot of people around here are definitely taking notice to this video and this footage that I have of what I saw here. And so it is getting the attention, and I'm a little bit shocked that the DEC isn't concerned. And like I said, I would have thought, you know, they would just kind of be a little bit more concerned that, you know, what if something does happen, and they essentially removed the fear from it. And, you know, I will also tell you what my response was, because, you know, it was a little bit sarcastic, but you can't really tell.
I'm shocked. I was concerned for my Siberian Husky to think it's just a house cat. It's huge. I will let people know not to panic as I did.
Just kind of like giving that accountability that like they're basically trying to make it seem like it's not something that it is, and actually people should be respectful of the potential danger there, you know, and respect that danger. You know, it's beautiful, but it needs to be respected for how dangerous it is. And so that's what happens. So I will let you guys form your own opinions. I know the quality is not the best. However, I was not going to go outside and get any closer than that. So I may have inserted a picture of like my child and my dog at the fence, just to give you like a size reference that like, yeah, that was big. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and comment below if you think it's a house cat. You're entitled to your opinion, that's fine. If you think it's a bobcat, if you think it's a mountain lion, I have gotten some feedback about it having a mountain lion face. I've gotten feedback about it having the exact mountain lion tail, right down to the black tip. It's got the muscles, it's got the size. So I will allow you guys to form your own opinions on that. We are all entitled to having our own opinion. There is no shade towards anyone for thinking any differently than me. I just want to be able to share our opinions in a respectful way, because we each have the ability to form our own opinions. And that's something big, like normalizing, like agreeing to disagree and being respectful of each other's thoughts and opinions, and valuing the information that's shared, regardless of if you agree with it or not. That's fine. Being that I live here, I can, you know, if I want to be cautious, like that's totally up to me, and that's what I feel inside I need to do, so that's what I'm going to do. And I don't really want to receive any criticism for that, because I'm just doing, you know, what's my instinct to protect my family. And that's that. So I'm just going to be a little bit more careful. I haven't gone outside with Avery in a couple of days, mostly because of that, because I was a little nervous. I just wanted a little time to go by. And I'm being cautious with Luna as well. And that's basically what I'm doing. And I'm just aware that there's something back there that is intimidating and startling. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I am working on another dermatillomania video, so that should be up at some point in the future. Remember, we always post new videos every Sunday, and sometimes I sneak in extra videos. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.